Welcome back. Well, you guys are at the Slumbering Titan. I believe you guys had just finished setting up the meeting when we left off. It's probably around noonish now, and you had said around 3 p.m. for the meeting. So what is it that you guys feel like you're going to do? Or if there's anything else that you want to talk about? Because I did kind of end on that note of Kemi getting back to Alina.
Well, part of our job here is to do research. Perhaps it makes sense to go and start now.
Yeah, we can do that. Keep an eye out for things on the way.
All right. You guys head out. It's not a very far walk. You saw it on your way. It was kind of like a few blocks down. There was an intersection that you guys kind of had to split off of it from. As you head down and through the city, nothing really new stands out to you on that quick journey because yeah, you guys didn't stay very long, I don't think, at the hotel. Is that right?
Yeah.
When you start to approach the spiral archive here, like I'd mentioned, it looks like it's much wider than the one in Mournhold. I think you were told that the one here in Iriath is like the main branch of the spiral archive. So it is a lot larger, a lot older looking. There is kind of like, it's almost kind of like Central Park, New York, in that it's like just this park in the middle of this big city. And then at the other side of it is the spiral archive. And you guys are, as you guys are going through or around this park, you note that there is one of the smaller beacons in the center of this park, and you notice signs of people kind of set up to like sleep here. Like there's like signs of like tents and or people just kind of laying out in the open. I guess a lot of you are probably used to homelessness. I feel like it's probably more common for Nyra, just because she also has a lot of like travelers in her city to just kind of see them set up wherever. But yeah, not quite to this extent. The building at the front, the doors are open, just like they were back in Mournhold. Very similar design in that there's like a sort of spiral-esque design to the building. And there are people kind of crowded on the outside, talking in little clusters of groups. And it seems like there's a decent flow of traffic. But when you get inside, it looks a lot different. There's more of like a library sort of feel because you're immediately greeted by like a front desk area, and everything around you looks like areas to study and read books, and there's like boxes of files lined on shelves just going really far up. The whole building kind of looks like you could see to the top of the building from where you're standing when you walk in, and there's a lot of spiraling stairwells, and you can see that on the higher levels there are doors for offices. But yeah, this whole building just seems kind of like open concept almost. You can kind of see to all the other floors from where you are. And at the front desk, you see what looks like a kind of like Middle Eastern descent, elvish girl who's like maybe, you'd say maybe 19 in equivalent like human years, very young. She has two little buns nestled just below her ears, and she has these spiraling gold earrings that go down to a point, and they kind of look like they might be a little bit uncomfortable to wear, but she's wearing them for fashion. And she is donning white robes with gold trim, and this gold trim comes down from her collar and then kind of wraps around her waist. And she's sitting there smiling at you as you enter the building. Kind of just waits for you to approach. As she get like a little bit closer to her, she goes, "Welcome to the Spiral Archive."
Thank you.
Anything I can help you with?
Yes, I have quite a list of different various topics I'm working on today. If you wouldn't mind, I just would spout them out and write down the references where I could find them.
Sure. She grabs a kind of like a little note card, card stock, and she kind of just waits for you to start listing it off.
So I need references on the history of the Silver Council, the structure and order of Mage and kind of the foundation of the Academy, the histories on the breaking of Savorn and Hedgrath for that kind of like time region, especially when it comes to trade and how that was broken between the countries. And then if you have any information on current trade near the Azure coast.
You see her eyebrow raised at that last one.
I know it is a plethora of topics, but I promise when I'm working on my thesis, it all makes sense.
Oh, I would have guessed that this had to do with some of the wanting to be informed with the coming. Oh,
I mean, you have to learn from the past to better understand the future, right?
that is one of our beliefs here. She directs you to floors 4 and 5 and Annex 7 and 8 respectively on those floors. She doesn't give you an exact bookshelf to go and check out.
It's like when you go to the library and you're like, oh, geography's the 800s, and you know to start there and kind of whittle down.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get it right? Oh. Yeah. Just made our librarian so happy.
She then goes, we don't really have anything all that much, though, about trade on the coast, though.
I figured it was worth asking. If it was anywhere, it would be here, but that's, I'm sure, more of like a merchant guild, or I can look elsewhere for that.
Yes, and just the fact that trade there is kind of closed.
Right.
But I could at least direct you to, she kind of tells you that the same place that you can find information on the Sundering, which is when the two countries split off, like 300 or so years ago. You could find at least some information about Endelos in general that maybe you can glean something from. But other than that, she kind of hands you some directions of where to find certain things, and it seems like anything that has to do with like people and history and anything politic related is on like the higher floor. So those are all kind of grouped together. Is anyone else doing anything while she's finding directions for you?
Is there any sort of physical index that we could peruse?
Oh, yep. And she's going to kind of just turn around, and like her desk is kind of one of those like round desks. Everything in here is shaped like a circle or a spiral. That's very thematic. And she kind of points you up, and you look to the second floor where the spiral staircase stops off at like this kind of hallway that joins one side to the other. And you see that there is like this bronze plateau that has almost like a hollow projection that's just kind of moving around in there, and you can see that somebody is standing at it, like interacting and interfacing with it.
Okay.
Would I have got the sense that... Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I was just going to say that I'm going to head for that, but
Okay.
go ahead.
I will join you.
I was going to say, I understand that, like, the top floor with the political stuff, would that also have, like, histories of Savorin? Raelynn's kind of looking almost like, like a grade 9 textbook that gives you a generalization of all the historical events that have happened in your country. She kind of wants to look at it with you and see what they're telling their people. So I'm looking for that. And then she'd also be interested in research on the ley line and the beacons, because Solus told her to look for that. And then hopefully medical.
Sorry. There was something to do with magic that Alina wanted to look at, right?
Yeah, kind of like because we were asked to learn about the mage hierarchy.
So you're specifically looking up to learn about the Academy of the Open Hand. Raelynn, you are directed to a floor even above those other two floors for the ley beacon stuff. If you ask about it, I don't know if she would, but you could easily find it with the index as well. And yeah, the history would be pretty much with all the political stuff.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, she would ask because she's with Alina right now, and Alina's asking magical stuff, so it doesn't seem out of place to tag onto that.
You also get the sense that that entire floor is dedicated to that because she doesn't indicate an annex to you.
Exciting.
All right.
Didn't Nyra have anything else?
Yeah, Nyra. She'd probably ask. She doesn't want to figure that thing out. She just asked for where she could find information on Aelris.
You are directed to the same floor that Raelynn is directed to for the ley beacon information. Pretty much anything to do with like the knowledge around magic and like understanding magic, that seems to be tied to Aelris. But they might also direct you to some text on the like history floor as well for things that relate to Aelris, to like other gods. Yeah.
Speaking of Aelris, Alina is very distracted knowing that Kemi works here. I've got 3 hours to get all this information before who knows what's going to happen. But also the spiral and the dream and hearing Elris's name that Nyra mentions is going to, in probably a very at disadvantage way, try to kind of meditate on Elris as she has to walk the spiral up to her floors.
Meditate on in like an intellectual sense or like a spiritual sense?
I think spiritual after that dream, and it took her a while to make that connection of what the dream was, but...
In the tower, roll me a religion check.
Okay.
Alina, as you walk up and you're meditating on that dream and the feelings that you had of something reaching out to your mind, and you kind of, especially with the helpful notes that you've received from Windress to kind of amplify that sort of magic that you already were familiar with. You feel something kind of wash over you, like it almost makes you feel off kilter for a moment, but in a weird way, like as if you're also pushing through that unsettling feeling as you go up these stairs. Nothing overwhelming happens, but you do feel the sense that there is something to this reaching out thing. Vael and Leif, your stop is first. You're going to, you're just going to the next floor right where the stairs are. What is it that you're looking for?
I would like to search on the topic of Forgebound and Draconic.
All right, so give me an investigation check with advantage.
I assume we're all
In the
walking up
tower,
at the
or-
same time. So could I give them the bag folding? Because they're stealthier than I am. That's really
Because I like this
Yeah.
steal shit.
Yeah, we'll take that, because yes,
Okay.
for sure, I'm going to steal books.
That's what I figured. I was like,
Going
can you
to
hold my
happen.
purse for me? Thanks.
I directed you guys to which floors? 2 and 3?
Ooh.
For all the like history and
4 and 5.
4 and
Yeah.
5. And then 6 for the magic. The Forge Bound seem to be on floor 6, along with the lay beacon stuff and Elris.
Okay.
And you find very little about anything that seems like there doesn't seem to be a lot about Draconic, except there isn't nothing, but it's like there's books that are spread out in different sections of the library. One of them seems to be tied to the history of the sands of Azuris. And there also seems to be a very old text, like pre-sundering text, available about a dragon that you've never heard about in the. I gotta fucking pull up my notes because I have never referenced this desert. I don't. Yeah, I have.
Well, I know which book's going in the bag.
All of them.
Yeah, oh.
The Hishari Desert in Tarashna.
How do you spell that desert?
Hishiri. It is on your map, and it has been marked as Sovereign interest.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I want to look into that as well. Any books by the same author as the Draconic Primer that I have?
That's interesting. Yeah, you find one that has to, because what you had was like a bunch of different, it wasn't like a complete, here's how you learn Draconic sort of thing. It's kind of like a small collection of stuff.
Yeah.
And so you search that up and you do find a more recent text by the same author. And this one has been, it was published about 20 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'll note the locations of each of those. And then what about, the Forgebound stuff was up on 6. Okay. Then on my way up to 6, I will find each of those books and pull a copy.
Sorry, you'll what? A copy?
Pull. I'm just gonna take a copy with me up.
Okay. Yeah. Do that, no problem. Was there anything that Leif was looking for?
Yes, there are 2 things I'd like to split my time between. Back on the 24th of Earthrest, when I tried to read the medical text that we liberated from Chistana's residence, said that I had sort of understood the theory of treating the disease that Chistana had, but not the practical application. So I'd like to swing by the biology section to see if there's anything I can learn there, and then depending on how that goes, we'll stop by philosophy and world religions to find anything about Lyriel.
Yeah, roll me investigation. Are you using the index thing?
Yes.
Roll me investigation with advantage then. You find that there is on floor 3, floor 3, Annex 5. There is a section that when you look through the titles of those books, a lot of them seem like practical knowledge of, and also like medical texts of applications of medical procedures and whatnot. Some of them, you just by the title, you can tell that they're like things that this is what we tried and that was not a good idea.
Documenting your failures is important.
And the other thing you were looking for was Ilris, which is again, or not Ilris, Lyriel. It would be on like the it would be on the history floor, but you note that the section Ilris has the biggest selection, and the other gods kind of just have like a smaller sort of history about them. But you find that in the same area that Nyra would need to go and get additional stuff about Aelris.
Cool.
Can I actually look for one more thing?
Sure.
Nyra wants to know what was the last published work Emmerich submitted to the archives.
Sure. I do have to check that last. Because I think that paper might have actually been his last one.
I have that information easily accessible if you need me to pull it up.
Sure.
Okay, so there's nothing after that.
Yeah, because when he did that, it was not as someone with the archive. It was someone at. It was as him as somebody at the academy. So he doesn't really deal with doing papers anymore, aside from signing off on them, apparently.
Okay.
No, like recent self-published book of like the secrets of my family.
No, unfortunately not.
All of our bastard children.
I was just curious if you.
We have to wait for
anything
Andrew's
else?
scathing Dayrune family secrets being brought out into the open, unfortunately.
It's going to be a great biography.
Okay. So I'm gonna figure out how I want to handle this because I don't want you guys to just be sitting here while I fucking lore dump all evening.
That's fine. I'm ready.
I think what I'll do. How long you guys are planning to spend like the next few hours here?
The full 3 hours until, well, me, the 3 hours until the meeting. Y'all can keep researching, or I won't decide what y'all do after.
Then I think what I'll do is I'll kind of handle this like the sort of like the rules I've been using for training and just get you guys to do an appropriate check for the various things you're looking into to see what you can learn while you're here looking at the stuff. We'll start on floor 3 with the biology stuff. So, David, if you could roll me, let's do a medicine check. I know it's your favorite kind of check.
Hey, my wisdom's pretty good. Not proficient. Tower or?
No, you'll be aware of what you learn.
Don't hate that.
You find at least 2 texts that you're looking for, or that you're looking through. There's a lot of interesting stuff and practices in a lot of these texts, but safely doing some of the medical procedures or even things that seem like books on creating on the process of creating things like a cure for an ailment. You find one book on that, and you find one book on like actual sort of medical procedures that seem to be geared towards students becoming doctors. Both of these texts to you stand out as potentially worth slipping into a certain bag that you guys have. And then we'll go.
So you said medical procedures geared towards students and like the process of like creating a
kind of like things
cure,
like vaccines and ointments and just things, different ways that they've tried to create treatments for ailments. And some of them are good. Some of them are like, don't do this. Floor 4. That was mostly the things that I think Alina was interested in.
Alina's fighting the arms in her wall. So.
Yeah. Okay. We can do the history
Sure.
things for now. Let's get a roll from both Nyra for if she's looking on that floor for some of the Eris related to the other god stuff. You can roll a history for that. And yeah, Megan, sorry, you guys asked for a lot of things and I wasn't typing them all out.
No worries.
You can also roll a history check because I know you were looking.
Is that the same floor as delirial stuff?
Yes. Give me a history. Or I should have been asking for. No, this is more history.
Right.
Give me a history check.
Okay.
All right. Raelynn, what was it specifically you were looking for again?
She was looking for a history of Savoran, like
Just a
timelines
few,
and things from
yeah.
their perspective. So
Mhm.
any major events or historical or cultural.
You find a very thin book that is dedicated towards the floating city project that was launched 101 years ago. Almost to the day, like this week at least. And you also find a book about the Sundering and the time of Ascension, which was the like 150, 60 years leading up to the Sundering. It was a time where there was a huge divide of faith and philosophy between the North and South, which is now Hedgareth and Savoran. And this was during a time where communication had begun to shut down between the two now countries. But during that time, you're also seeing that there was just a ton of magical advancement happening in Savoran at the time that was further like entrenching themselves in we don't need Hedgareth mentality. I can give you guys more details on this stuff too behind the scenes so that you can decide what's important and what you want to talk about as a group. And Leif and Nyra, you're kind of like looking at this like tall but narrow section that's dedicated to these other gods. Lyriel actually seems to take up like half of this section. Israel has like one shelf, and Oren has like half a shelf. Vaelthar an actually larger shelf, but a lot of it is like collections of poems and tales and things like that. Like just things that this god has inspired in people. When you look into the stuff about Lyrial Leif, I think one fairly thin book catches your attention. The other ones are more like there's creation stories and stuff here that are told from the Savoran point of view, which you've never heard before. But I think probably what catches your attention is when you're skimming through these books just to see if anything catches your eye. You note a couple of people's like accounts of experiences with Lyrial like hundreds of years ago, and all of them seem to have like a near death experience that brought them into that sort of relationship with Lyrial.
Interesting.
And Nyra, you're getting basically the same sort of information you've been getting from everyone else, at least on this floor, about how elevated Aelris is compared to the other gods here, in that they almost don't even bother to tie them to their like sisters and brothers. There's always some sort of division between them, though Lyrial is sometimes noted to be alongside Aelris. You don't seem to glean anything new. And Alina, you were looking at history stuff too, right?
Mhm.
The council is what you were looking for?
History of the council and then organization of the academy first, and then if there was still time, looking in like the sundering, and if I, with my knowledge, can try to piece any threads of the sisterhood that I might be able to read in between the lines.
Okay, give me an Arcana check and a history check.
Out and open.
Yep. You're trying to find a thread of the sisterhood tied to what exactly?
Like during the sundering, with it being so split and knowing, because the sisterhood existed pre-sundering, right?
Yeah, but like 600 years before that.
If we hadn't been taught especially any of the kind of the history of the sisterhood in that, looking for things that I might be able to interpret as sisterhood machinations during that time and how their influence might have spilled over into Savoran, which I know is a long shot. And if I need to roll and try to get higher than a 15, let me know. Or 16.
This actually would have been tied mostly to the Arcana check you did, so you're fine. I think one thing that I don't know if it stood out yet to Alina, but there is a name that comes up, Mirum.
What was that?
Mirum, Mirumm. They seem to be related to Rennis Skelding. And you know that there is a place in Holvik called Mirum. But you also maybe connect now that there's also a place called Mirum's Rest in Endelos on the coast. Something that I don't know if that's dawned on Alina before. But now that you guys have these maps, Miriam was someone who, was born in Hulvik, tied to Reneth in lineage, and also resided here in Savorin after the Sundering. You note that they seem to have an unusually long lifespan just based on the times presented, what you know of Miriam and what you're now learning of Miriam's Rest, which was a city that came to be about 300 years ago during the silent years here in Hedgareth, or Savorin. That's really the only connection you find specifically about that, but your Arcana check also was tied to the Spiral, or the Silver Council. Wait. Your history check would be the Silver Council stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Raelynn also learned a bit about this from her other book. But the Silver Council is very new. It's a new organization, and it was founded in 315 ASU, which is after Sundering, so about 22 years ago. But before that, it was the Silver Assembly, which was not really a powerful entity that it currently is today. The hierarchy used to be the queen, which was like the crown, and then underneath that was a much larger Silver Assembly. So not just one person from each state. It was like a proper hall of people that has since been whittled down to like 6 people now. Is there anything in specific that you are hoping to know about that right now?
Just general when it was founded.
Yep, 22 years ago.
Perfect.
Oh, actually, there's a note that you might find a little bit interesting. Once, about 2 years after the Silver Council was founded, the Queen shifted into a position that was no longer really in control. So they kind of found it as this like smaller, tight-knit assembly, and then they took over in place of the crown.
Does it imply any if it was like a hostile takeover, if it was just like a transition?
It was a slow 2-year transition that was facilitated by the Dayrune family. Not forgetting anything on this floor, am I?
No, because I have to go up a floor to find out the magic stuff.
Which Vale also wanted to find out about Forgebound on that same floor. And the lay beacons. Forgebound, lay beacons, and there was something else.
The mage hierarchy.
Right, okay. Then I need Vale to make an Arcana check, and I need. Was it Raelynn that wanted to find out about the ley beacons, or was it Alina?
Yes.
Okay, so
Raelynn.
Arcana check from you.
I'm gonna just go ahead and do it with my inspiration. That was a double 20.
Yeah.
Dope.
Damn. And then I need one from Alina. This one, yeah, Arcana
Another
check.
Arcana check.
Yeah. Look at you guys. Forge bound. Let's deal with that first. Is there anything in specific that you're looking for? Are you looking for like things like different schematics on the forge bound? Are you looking for like when these things started to come into like existence here?
The history doesn't interest me as much. More about like how they were made, where they are made, and like any specifics on schematics, like details about what they're good for, what they're not good for, variations in models, that sort of thing.
Can you also just give me just a straight D20 roll as well? Okay. Yeah. You find these texts go back like they seem to go back about 100 to 105 years ago ish. You're finding like a lot of texts around this time. And probably by now you're like kind of piecing together that something there was some sort of magical push like 100 or so years ago that really started getting things off the ground with these advancements in their technology. And you find that that's gone through so many different stages. They were first used just for military purposes and guards and things like that before they became about 50 years ago more. There's like a lot of general stuff that started to happen. So the things that you see overtop some shops to like look out for intruders and these sort of these ones that kind of seem to just be tending to like guard post positions and things like that. And then you see this whole line of models that look kind of like Sid. Different shapes. Some of them are circular, some of them are square, some of them are just like long and awkward. And this line of models, you don't know if it is true today, but at least about 20 years ago, they were built as like, I guess the way that you use Chinook in like almost like house guards, like security models for people's personal house. All of them built with means to help out around the house and also to ward off intruders. They all come with their own like sort of weaponized system in it, which you have seen from Sid. And then when you start looking into the other models, I think you're piecing together that the clunkier things have been around, like that you saw in the city walking around that were in abundance. Those are probably the oldest ones, and they're still going today. the research on these stopped, like, again, about 20-ish years ago, and like in releasing documents that are like new. But what I think what catches your eye is that there is some theory on future applications of these, and that they think that they could achieve things like safe flight. But those ideas were quickly shut down because of the current ban on that sort of magic. Production on those, though. It seemed like it primarily happens a lot in Zardan, but the name of the family you find... The Hammersong family, who hail in Sir Yvain in Zardan, have factories in Iriath, Mournhold, and always forget the capital of this place, Canos Bay in Endelos.
Okay. Does it have like exact locations, or just mentions the cities?
Just mentions the cities. It does give you an emblem to go off of, though.
Okay, what's the emblem?
It's like a hammer striking a musical note in a triangle shape.
Okay. And any specifics on what actually powers them, what functionality, or what disrupts that, or anything like that?
It seems different from model to model, but I think probably the common thread is that they each have some sort of arcane core that you're pretty familiar with magic, so like, the effects of casting a spell for a long time, day after day, on a object can have like a long-term effect on it. And it seems as though what they refer to as pure aether, which is like just pure magic, is being poured into these the cores go through a different stage. At the beginning, it's almost just like a trinket, and as it goes down, it gets a little bit more sophisticated in the sense that it's like they're pouring their magic into this item, and something about the way that the materials are being used is kind of perpetuating that core on its own, like a sort of fusion thing.
Okay. So it's starting out as like a standard enchanted object, but then
and they got smart about it in terms of being more efficient with their magic.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of notes on all of this, and kind of, just take down a lot of the details so that I can inform our military about all of that and have these locations to go to. And in the process of doing that, I'm also just gonna slide those draconic books right into the bag holding.
Just like at the party, I won't make you roll for it because we have plenty of places where you can at least not be seen doing that. The ley beacon stuff. What exactly are we looking for here?
She wants to look for kind of the research leading up to what made them decide to even like drill and pull and use these beacons. And then she'd like to learn about how they're like the schematics for like how they're using that information and that magic and putting it into their resources, their people, all that kind of stuff, and why there's the times that they can't use it. Like, is it just like a silly reason, or is it an actual like the magic doesn't work or something?
For the times, then can you actually roll me a history check instead for that?
Sure.
Okay. And you got a 19 on the other thing?
Yeah.
The ley beacons, they seem to start off as just like a power system. They wanted to see what they could do with harnessing what they refer to here again as pure aether from the earth and powering their society. They attribute this process to the Vea family several times, but there are also other names that come up along the way. The Day Runes obviously have a lot of their hand in a lot of the same things that the Veas do. And several actually of the other names that you picked up in your other books, especially around the time of the Shattered Stair. There seems to just be like a long unified progress towards what is current today, and that started what you gather pre-Thundering. The first texts you're finding here are like 340 years ago. And you actually note that there was a public denouncement from House Saveth towards this progress that was being made at the time. But they were already in this huge process of splitting and dividing and fighting, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. It didn't seem, compared to all of the other arguments that were happening. But you do note, as you're looking through this, that House Saveth comes up as being against what the Vea family was trying to accomplish at that time. Mostly because, yeah, Terran. Terran 3, actually.
It's a family name.
Yeah, you're mostly looking for why. The why was they wanted to see what they could do. They wanted to see what they could power. But then eventually it became so integral to their way of life. Like you get the sense that if you took these things out, some of the major cities would just be completely at a loss of, or like a huge time of recovering would be needed at this point. They've got themselves so far advanced that getting set back would be a problem.
Sounds perfect. Let's let them be like savages for a little while.
The blackout times. This you actually would have found on like the history floor, and more in like kind of like the public notices section. It's not like anyone wrote a book or a thesis on any of this. It was just a public notice about 4 years ago, that went out saying that they needed to preserve power during these times. But the part that you didn't hear in Mournhold that you see here in the capital is that they needed to reroute power to the capital city.
Does it say why? Like what it was being used for?
It's not clear. It just sounds very vague and suspicious to Raelynn, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just a cop-out of like, you have to do this to help the war effort, and that's like, we're relying on you sort of a situation. It kind of looks like a copy of a document that went out, and they kept it here in this public record. Was there a question specifically that I didn't answer about the
she wanted to know like the schematics of like how they're built and like how they extrapolate all this.
So in Mournhold, when you guys were in those tunnels, you were told that those tunnels were built in order to like for people to work below ground to set these like beacons in place. And it actually, you find that these beacons that you see today are the first model of beacons that they had, and that the old ones, about 40 or 50 years ago, went out of fashion, hailed to not be as efficient. This is around the same time that some of the research for the forge-bound cores started to shift as well. And it seems like they were kind of pairing science with the arcane, whereas before it was kind of like, or not science, what would I even call this? I'm like totally blanking on the word. Engineering with arcane, whereas before it was kind of like rooted in arcane and spiritualism, and now it's like they've kind of removed the whole aspect of the gods from any of the way that they do magic.
Got it. And there's nothing that looks like the pits that we saw them originally building in Hedgareth.
There would be. That looks like the starting process of that.
Cool. Thank you.
And let's go. Alina, you were looking for the hierarchy of the mages on the Magic Academy here.
Mm-hmm.
This is lovely. I have to go all the way back to my Mournhold notes. Boy, did I have a different idea of what was going to go on in that city.
Hey, at least you still get to use them.
It seems like it goes, again, like very naturally through different, a different organization throughout the years. The most recent one that you can find is... Did I really type that word that many times in my document? That's awesome for me right now. I was smart. I would have pulled these up while we were talking. because I have to get these right now. Okay, give me a second. My brain is buffering, and so are my dogs.
Your dogs?
Okay. My dogs. No, the dogs are buffering outside. Okay, I have the Archmage, which is the Academy head. And this is from 15 years ago. That's the most recent one you can find. The Archmage, then the High Overseer, then the Mat, which
And the what?
the High Overseer.
Thought you had
And
said
then-
something after that.
I did, and then I cut myself off because my brain does that sometimes. The Magisters. And then you see on almost like the same tier, Handlers and Adepts. And then below that is Initiates. The Handlers are also referred to as just general mages as well. They seem to be like field operatives, whereas Adepts are like recently graduated students, and Initiates are trainees.
Did you say Magisters, Handlers, and Adepts were all on the same level?
No, just Handlers and Adepts are on
Okay.
the same level, and then the Initiates are below. And the Magisters seem to be like more on the instruction side. They don't seem to be out in the field.
I know I'm not the one researching it, but we're in the same area, and if
Mhm.
nothing else, Vale would probably prompt this. Does it say anything about like a distinction between them, like physically or uniform or items, anything of that nature?
Not for the head of the academy. The head of the academy seems like they get to dress however they so choose. The High Overseer, which are the regional heads, which, given the time, 15 years ago, I said. Tristana Karis is listed as a High Overseer for the Volkos Academy. And for Initiates, yet there seems to be like very similar to the Sisterhood in that it's like, it's not the style that matters really, but the coloring of their robes is always very much a split of maroon and navy. Like there's almost like a ratio of 50-50 to the coloring. The Adepts lean more towards blue with elements of maroon. The Handlers, more on the blue side, but they're also... Sorry, the Adepts are also always accompanied by someone who is a martial, like a soldier, essentially. Handler seems to be the highest tier of a field agent. So it would be like, okay, there's a bunch of young trainees here, but they have someone who is good with a sword with them, overseeing them. But then above them in command is usually a more powerful mage. And yeah, the Handlers are either red or blue, like fully. Senior instructors,
You said Magisters?
yeah, they are they were gray, and they don't seem to practice a whole lot of actual magic. Rather, they deal in the preparation of theory for the initiates.
Okay, that's all very helpful.
And I think maybe what you would gather also is that the initiates tend to come from families who are pretty influential and raised from like a young age. They're kind of sent off to the academy.
That's such a weird concept.
That's where the sisters come from.
And the Wizards of Sicario.
Yep.
We just have this theme running through all our games.
You know, it's just a lot easier.
Corrupts them from birth.
It's just a lot easier to explain a bunch of young people traveling together when you just fucking ship them off somewhere. Yeah, was that mostly what you were looking for?
Hopefully that covers what Solus was looking for, so yeah.
Alrighty.
Raylan's gonna have a lot to report.
And then...
I would, I think I'd prompt one more thing from Alina. Is there... Actually, at this point, Vale's probably just like standing over her shoulder and reading. But is there any indication of how these ranks line up against military? Like, is there any sort of indication, like, hey, a handler is like a captain?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, you would probably gather that a handler would be... so tempted to pull up that huge doc that I sent to Megan now. I might have to correct myself on these terms later, but yeah, a handler would be like the ranking captain in any given group. And then below them, if the handler is not there, the adepts would take over. No, sorry, the military person with them would take over.
Got it. Okay. So anything under a handler doesn't really have authority over military.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But you've seen the military be treated a little bit shitty, and I think maybe you can gather as a bunch of young nobles that these kids are sometimes just shitty.
What?
And a lot of them look like they're maybe like 17, 18.
Cool. All right. It's a lot of good information we've just gathered.
And I think the last thing we need to cover was the information on Aelris that wasn't part of the other, like connected to the other gods here, right? And that was that Nyra looking at that?
Yeah.
You can roll me a religion check. What is it that you're hoping, what angle are you hoping to get from your studies here?
Nyra is trying to understand. I guess she's just so confused by how they put Aelris on this pedestal but don't worship them. And she's trying to understand how that all works, but also why they think Aelris wants them to put the magic back. Like, why they think that's how magic works.
Okay. Yeah, you get, when you're looking for the stuff about these two things kind of tie in a little bit together. They definitely started off as like using Lyriel and Aelris to guide them into the southern lands of this continent, of both like being a god that is kind of like tied to the skies and the stars and things like fate and destiny. All of these started off as like spiritual ideas to these people that they actually seem to genuinely believe, given that some of the texts that you're reading. And you do find a book called The Savorn Chronicle, The Two Pillars of the World. That feels like it started off well-intentioned, but then starts to, I think, your knowledge of everything that's going on kind of unsettles you a little bit, and how bad this ideology feels. Especially when you read this line where it starts to divide Aelris and Lyriel as the true foundation. You read this little segment and it says, in the beginning, there was possibility, vast and formless. 6 divine minds turned their attention to the void and began shaping the world from chaos. But of these 6, 2 stood as architects of true civilization. Aelris, the mind of the cosmos, and Lyriel, the weaver of destiny. It was Aelris who designed the laws and the government, the order of time, pattern of the seasons, the logic behind magic. And Lyriel, who walked the paths and threads unseen, charting the great arcs of history. Together, they did not merely just create, but they elevated civilization. And then it divides the rest of the gods into this section called the gifts of the others. All of it acknowledges that, you can't have Israel, or you can't have life without, and warmth and vitality without Israel. But it was Aelris who taught Israel how to harness fire and temper steel to the forge. And sure, Orin brought strength, but without knowledge, strength is chaos. And it was Lyriel who guided. Kalis gave emotion and healing, yet pure emotion without discipline is very turbulent, and her followers often strayed because their compassion often led to lawlessness. And Vaelthar inspired artistry and whim, but where is creation without structure? A song must have form, a sculpture proportion, and it was Aelris who gave art its foundation, and Lyriel who tied it to tradition. Everything that you've learned about the gods seems to be attributed now to these two. Like, without them, these other gods would just be chaotic. Which is kind of what you gather Savorn views Head Gareth as. So you read through this, and it very quickly paints a picture for you, especially when you read it in the light of some of the other texts that where they're all brothers and sisters and creating and harmony and happy, and then they fell away. No one was worshiping them as a whole unit anymore. And the reason behind putting the magic back is you read through all of these different religious texts, and you find a little bit on Orin and the relationship between Orin and Aelris, and that Orin seemed to always give something of himself, but there was always some sort of measure of, well, he's not creating something from nothing. You know, if you take a piece out of him, that piece is gone. And it seemed to be Lyriel and Aelris who kind of brought order to that, making sure that their brother didn't just like dwindle away. There was always some sort of replenishing, but that was kind of marked by ancient people who dwelled among the gods and, you know, actually communed with them and nurtured the land that they gave back to. And I think that seems to be where they've stemmed this practice of, okay, you're taking magic, which is from Aelris and the earth, and you need to put it back. But all of the older stuff that you read is always done with a veneration, paying proper respect to Orin.
Okay.
And that was some of my festival notes that I finally got to use.
Yeah.
We just fast-tracked it. We did a bunch of shit, and then we're like, let's just go to the library and learn directly from the sources.
Let's just make Vixx talk for an hour and a half.
It's a knowledge speed run.
Welcome to our PSA on the importance of public libraries.
Yep.
Public libraries are great.
But yeah, I think we actually went straight to the break with everything important, like top of the mind that you guys wanted to learn for these characters over this next 3 hours. So instead of trying to set myself up here for a little oh my god scene, I think we'll just go and get some snacks and drinks, and we'll come back
Rest your hand after writing all those notes.
Now you're gonna have to pass me some of those notes. I need to corroborate what I said. But yeah, we will be back in a few minutes. Hello, welcome back, everyone. Yeah, so we just had like an hour and a half of study time, really, leading up to this meeting. I think there are some things you guys definitely want to dig into a bit more here, but you do have a couple of days, and it's just like down the block from your hotel. So if we want to just kind of piece that out over this amount of time, we'll just say that what you guys learned today is all you had time for until the meeting, and can deal with the other stuff later. So yeah, I think Alina, you are feeling, I don't know, do you think you've been kind of watching the time, or are you a little bit more relaxed? Like, what are you feeling at the moment?
Definitely. I feel like researching is an easy distraction for a while, but as the clock gets closer and closer, more nervous.
I know that I can't look at whatever they're laughing at because I will crack as well. So pretend you're not there. I think as you're kind of doing that sort of maybe you've been glancing around a little bit here and there. And I think, were you familiar at all with Skylar? Like, at least by look?
Megan and I talked about this. By look, it's definitely like we were on the edge of, like, we shared some friends, but we were never in the same group. So we were like at the edge of each other's orbit.
Mm-hmm. And since Skylar was someone who wanted to know and make connections a lot, that was kind of her whole reason for going to the Sisterhood. I think she at least made a point at some occasion to at least introduce herself to you. And I think when you're looking up, you notice this woman, very familiar face, but just not the one you were like expecting. You kind of look down this row of shelves you are standing and taking notes at. And this halfling woman, dark skin, her curly mass of hair is just kind of pulled. It's pulled back so that it's sleek on the side, but it's kind of curly still on the top, and there's loose curls, and it's kind of all flowing down the back. And she's wearing very similar colors to the girl that was at the front desk, but very different style. It's kind of like it's a robe that's very fitted, but it has like another kind of like a double-breasted layer on the top, and she's just kind of looking over at you warmly. And she kind of makes her approach to you and whoever's with you at the time.
Now Vale said he was there. He would have been studying similar things at the end. Would Raelynn have tried to make her way down?
Yeah, because I had to put my books in the bag of holding.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello
It's
there.
been forever. You look well.
You look a bit different.
Yeah.
I'm here to take you to your meeting.
All of us?
Well, it was requested that I be brought here, so I don't see why all of us can't go. Is this all your party?
The other two aren't with us, right? No, we still have two more.
I think they're like huddled down on the floor trying to read through all these religion books next to each other. All right. Well, she's going to kind of look up. If you go up to there's about 4 more floors above us. Her door's hard to miss. I can gather the others. What are their names?
Gosh, what are your names?
Fake names. They're
Ager and
Nasira?
Nasira?
All right. She's described them to me, so I can do that. Yep, those faces.
Yep, everyone catch the context of that, please.
I mean, we've been in here for 3 hours, at the very least.
She's going to make her way down to where Nyra and Leif are. She's very light on her feet, but she tries to make her like approach known. So you very distinctly hear like a clack of heels coming up behind you. Excuse me.
Yes.
She looks a little bit up at Leif with a little bit of a smile, and she goes, your meeting.
Oh.
I've been sent here to collect you. The others are already on their way up.
I didn't know we were invited.
You must be Skylar?
Yes.
I
She'll
don't
hold
think
out
I
her
told
hands.
anyone about Skylar except for Alina.
I thought you did when we were.
I definitely.
Alina said out loud to bring
Okay.
Skylar.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right this way. And she seems very warm and genuine and kind of leads you up. And as you head up to these upper floors, you pass a couple of other floors that seem like just offices. And these floors seem very, the offices on them seem very large. Like just looking on the outside of them, they look like they take up a lot of space. And you keep going up to this floor you were guided towards. And when you make it up, first the other three make it up before before Skylar and Nyra and Leif. And she wasn't kidding when she said that it's hard to miss. On this floor, there are 4 offices, and you see the names. You see 3 other names up here. You see just the name Drennick on one door. You see Sava Stillborn, which is S-A-V, and then Stillborn is with an S. And then you see the name Poppy. And then apart from that, you see a nameplate that says Professor Kemi. All of these doors are kind of like that, you know, that like sort of frosted glass look. It takes up most of the door, and it has the name over top of it, and you can see that there's like movement beyond it, but you can't make out anything in the room. And when everyone is gathered upstairs, she Skylar kind of turns to all of you. I have to ask, there's no ill intent here, right?
I just want to talk to her.
Follow me. And she's going to lead you towards the door. You see her slip her hand into her pocket, and she takes out what looks like a fine silver dust and weaves something in front of a little, kind of like the sort of sensor things that you guys have been seeing. But instead of using a rune, she just casts some sort of magic, and her magic seems to be like the silvery sort of color. It looks almost like a knot, and then when she pulls on it, it becomes like straight again, like as if there's no knot, and then it dissipates, and you hear a click.
Is it possible to actually learn what she just did to the point of replicating it?
If you roll a high enough Arcana check.
I really need to up that stat so bad. I'm guessing not.
Yeah, She does it very discreetly as well.
Has she always been able to cast magic?
This is the first time you're seeing her cast magic. A little click and the door actually like pops open in response. And she moves in, welcomes you guys all through into this again, it's kind of like the outside is round, and so is the space that you just entered in, and the other two sides are kind of like flat, so it's kind of this weirdly shaped office that is lit by these arcane lanterns on the wall. A desk at the very far end. There's lots of plant life in this room. Off to one side, you kind of see what looks like probably what you might figure to be sort of like testing of like magic. You see a bunch of different components laid out on the table. Lots of bookshelves in this room. And standing behind the desk near this window, like the window takes up a lot of that wall. You see a dark-skinned, elvish woman, slender, tall. She has these sort of like thick braids that they're kind of styled up and away out of her face right now. But there's a single one that's been left out. And her white and gold fashion is like, it's like kind of a jumpsuit that's hooded, and there's like a cutout taking up much of the waistline. So it kind of comes down and around and then turns into pants. And she's wearing these high white boots that are trimmed with gold. And unlike what Raelynn saw earlier today, there's no maroon or navy undershirt to this outfit. And same with Skylar. You don't see that collar poking out anymore. The door closes behind you, and you feel a pulse of magic in the air as Skylar turns towards the door and does something. And she walks past you all and she goes, just to ensure we're safe. And she's going to go and take a seat. There's like 2 chairs that are on the other side of Kemi's desk. And Kemi this whole time has been looking directly at Alina.
So it's professor now.
That is one of my titles. I am surprised to see all of you here. Impressed, even. No one's been talking about you. At least not in any way specific.
We'd be doing a really poor job of things if they were.
Well, you were never one to do a poor job at anything. She's going to walk around the desk and walk towards Alina. And she's going to kind of open her arms to you. It's been a while.
I'll go and hug her.
She pulls you in. You feel almost like a slight tremble, like she really is surprised to see you here. Oh, what can I do for all of you?
above table, remind me, how long has it been since that last time I saw her for that brief?
About a year-ish. A bit over. No, about a year-ish. Yeah.
You're talented, but I know you haven't accomplished all this in only a year.
Well, I've been an advanced sister for some time.
Is that what this is? Because the last thing I was told, you had left it all.
Let me guess. Mother Ona.
Who else?
Is that really why you're here? Just personal check-in?
Speaking to you, yes. A lot of questions.
I'm sure you do. As do I. It doesn't seem like I'm the only one who's been up to a lot of things behind the scenes.
You told me to keep digging.
Did you find anything?
Starting to. I found your dress. Was that an intentional gift or an accident?
I didn't know it would end up in such a public place. But they do have the right idea to some degree here that we should be sharing what we know with everyone. At least here, the Spiral Archive. I'm not talking about the general people here.
I saw a very interesting name signed off on a paper of yours. Someone who is related to a man in a vision I had.
Roll an insight check for me.
Do you want it in the tower?
Yes. You know Kemi pretty well, but she's always been someone who prided herself in being in control of herself. But because of that, you probably know her tells better than anyone. You see just the very slightest uptick in her shoulders and a slight tension in her jaw as you open up this line of questioning with her. Yes. What about it?
What do you know? What do you know about their involvement with the Sisterhood?
Your vision had to do with the Sisterhood and them.
And your day rune was speaking with Mother Ona.
That's kind of what I had feared.
What do you mean, what you feared?
That might be a you and I conversation.
All right.
I'm not unwilling to talk about it, but I don't think that it's sharing with a group information. Is there anything else that you would like to know as a group?
Alina will look at the others.
Is any of this real?
Any of what real?
This. Is this your long-term goal, or are you still Sisterhood?
I've just met you and you want to know my long-term goals in life.
I want to know your loyalties.
It started off as not real. But it's not my end goal. I suppose you've just asked me a very complicated question.
I understand.
Alina, you know that there is a lot of private maneuvering that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Sisterhood, what it is right now, it would be a great benefit to Iriath, but not in its current state. But I also think that it would be unwise to do anything about it without knowing everything. And I don't think that I'm the one who can do anything about it.
Then who?
Someone, she's going to flick her gaze towards Skylar for a moment. Someone who is not easily swayed by their own selfish ambition, which unfortunately the Sisterhood seems to draw a lot of. I mean, why not go there if you want to climb the political ladder? It makes sense. But it would take someone who wants to see a different future for it to really change. However, once you get up there, the people who tend to get up there, it is really hard not to just sway things in your own favor. That is why I even agreed to some of the things that they set me out on a mission to. There were things in it for me. This is why I don't think I'm the person to get there. My concern is I get to the top to change it, and I see ways to leverage it for me. I'll be honest in that.
Well, I appreciate your candor, but if you'll allow me to press just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
When you say not in its current state, you mean not with its current leadership.
Huh. It would take a lot of restructuring, but I guess that's a good way to start. The only problem is that I don't even think the mothers know what the mothers are doing. So it's hard to say who would be a good fit and who wouldn't. You might be starting from scratch and doing the whole nation a favor, or you might be hurting some innocent people. It's hard to say. You mean to do something about it? And she's kind of like sweeping a gaze across all of you.
Well, you've been honest with us. Ever since I took up my position, I've been interested in what the Sisterhood is doing. I too see its potential to be a great force of good, and yet I have my concerns. If there is something that needs to be done for the betterment of Hedgreth, then yes, I mean to do something about it.
Well, my advice would be careful to make sure that you learn everything, because there are things, I'm sure, hidden away that you may never find out if you make a move too hastily or too soon.
That has been my concern since day one. Hiddenness is their specialty.
They did mean well.
They've done well. I've seen it.
I guess they're like any other organization or group or country or family. Which is why it would be foolish to do anything but reshaping it.
And why I've been proceeding with sharing of information with great caution.
I meant to speak to you about that. You said that... She's going to keep her lips very... Perhaps another not group conversation. Not that I mean to leave any of you out, but I don't know you. Not that well, anyway.
I can't send in or out. I'm assuming they can't scry either.
I mean, here in Vaelthar.
Mm-hmm.
The mothers?
Yes.
I would assume so. During the silent years, they've set into motion a bunch of things that they wanted to set up here in order for Hedgareth to not be able to have much on them. A smart move, but of course now it's makes our job a little bit difficult. I can respect what they did, but this is all going to be very difficult to undo. Everything that has been done over the last few centuries.
And your plans to do so? Or is that another private conversation?
Well, I don't exactly have the means or the resources to do anything beyond the gathering of knowledge that I have here. If I could just undo it with a snap of my fingers, I would.
And assuming we were committed to undoing it, what would you, as someone who's been here gathering information for a year, tell us to do?
She looks a little bit pained, almost, as she seems to go through a cycle of thoughts. I don't think there's any way to do it peaceably. And I guess... Sorry?
We're already at war. That's long gone.
Their whole way of life here. The wards that are keeping Head Gareth out, so to speak. The spire here in the city, I'm sure you've seen it and heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably their most vulnerable point for shutting down some of their systems here. But heavily guarded. Lots of backlash. If you're not just shutting it down. And if you just shut it down, they will turn it back on.
Is it connected to the others? If we were to channel enough power through it, could it overload everything?
Potentially, you'd have to ensure that it could also break the central component, though.
What do you mean? What is this central component?
Well, the primary beacon in the city. You would have to destroy it in the process. And I don't know what you all know about that.
We've seen it happen.
Something of that size?
I know you don't want to stand too close to a small one.
Imagine that times perhaps 1,000.
I'd rather not.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. That's a lot. A lot of people are likely to get hurt.
That's exactly the problem. And right now, all of the people who have been put out of their homes, you're talking not just military, you're talking people who don't know that any of this is going on. Their only crime being where they were born.
The homeless encampments and the quarantine.
Not to mention all of the people doing well with their business here, with how everything has been enclosed. All the inner trade routes, a lot of the more well-off people here are just civilians who have family money, worked hard.
How big of an area would we have to clear?
Times 1,000, that was about 60-foot radius.
So 60,000 feet?
Yep.
Well, there's squares involved. Wouldn't be a linear scaling, surely.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And then you have things like maybe some of the buildings will block some of the path of whatever happens.
Well, it's something that we have as an option.
He looks a little bit concerned, but
It's not one I take lightly, I assure you. But if this war carries on, more people than that will be hurt. More people than that will die.
You're not wrong.
There's no other way to disconnect the beacon from the ley lines without destroying it.
You could potentially disrupt all of the ones connecting to the main one to disrupt the path. But you would be spread thin to try to do it all at once. It would... And if you only did it one at a time, then they may fix one before they catch on. They may send people after you before you finish the job. You would need a lot of friends.
I was going to say, have you been putting out resources and people to potentially do that yourself? Allies we could contact?
That wasn't really my mission here, but I do have people you could contact.
I would love to have those names if I could.
Yeah, she's gonna walk over to her desk. You see her pull up a sleeve. It seems as if she has one of the bracelets on, but when she turns her hand, I think any of you who have familiarity with the arcane, you can see that the magic seems to come from somewhere else. Like something on her wrist seems to glow just faintly underneath that bracelet as she kind of waves it over and this drawer pops open. And she's essentially going to give Raelynn like her little black book. She rips out a front page, and I think if you catch a glimpse of it, it kind of just is a page that indicates that it's her book. So she kind of rips that out and passes it to you.
Thank you.
They are marked. Anything that is crossed in red, I would not touch that. It's dead ends, leads that went awry. Things that felt like they got too close to revealing any truths about me, which means they might be able to do the same to you all. The ones near the back are the ones here in the city. The others, I have contacts over in Andalos and Valkos.
Just quickly skimming, do I recognize any of the names?
You, especially because you guys didn't really stop much in Andalos. You went to the guild there, but that was about it. You immediately notice Vasha's name in the Mournhold section. Yeah, actually, you see the name, you see Lady Alaris's name, but there is a slash, like as if she is known by some other name.
Okay.
I was honestly not expecting this question, so let me find where.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. It just was not. I have too many things here. There she is. Talia Fairwater. Fairwater. Um, I wasn't expecting any of this from any of you. Honestly, I was concerned when you started pinging on my radar here.
What did you expect? Quick reports back to the Sisterhood?
Did you not say anything about me?
Only that I had found your thesis dated from over a year ago. You'd been back since then, so I figured they knew you had been in Sawarn. You are one of my assignments.
That is what I was going to ask. And what do you mean to do now that you found me?
I don't know. There's a lot I haven't reported back. Haven't reported what any of these have done. Haven't reported on Lord Vyrian's new relationship.
She kind of raises an eyebrow. Was that one of your missions, really?
For a long
Taking
time.
along with a man?
They're interested in what happens to Ashendar. Have been since he showed back up.
So kind of them to keep an eye on my province for me.
Well, who can blame them under such mysterious circumstances?
I think anyone from your organization calling anything mysterious is a little bit underhanded.
I mean, it gives me more authority to recognize when something is mysterious, no?
I suppose I can understand that logic.
Is this classified, or do I get to know why all of you are here? You have questioned me.
It looks to Raelynn.
I don't think she knows enough about what Alina's done with the Sisterhood to make a good call. So if it's a bad call, sorry guys. But she's just gonna say, I'm sure Alina will tell you in the meeting more than I'm willing to let you know. I trust her judgment. But we do appreciate what you've given us. I'm sure things will be able to be discussed further as we figure things out as well. We don't quite know everything yet.
I suppose that's fair. Well,
Your people
less
would know
unfair.
anyways. They found us.
I don't think they know much about what I'm doing here.
You all have anything else you want to ask, or can I have a few minutes?
Who else knows about us being here?
Good question.
I think that you've got the attention of some people in Valkos, from what I hear, and that they may have made a couple of connections for some of you, not all of you. And I think she glances at both Leif and Vael.
You like to talk around names. Why do you not mention anyone?
I don't know what you all know about each other, to be honest. Are you guys all an open book? You know everything that there is to know.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, if there's anything you know, they can know it too.
What a lovely friendship.
We've learned the importance of trusting each other.
Well, Justana Karis has made a couple of you out. I know that you were very discreet in how you handled certain things, or how she knows exactly who you are. I assume she's checked up on you since your last visit with her.
I could say that.
Yeah.
Just remember that scrying and sending works within Savorn.
I'm well aware. I knew it was a risk to be wearing what I stole from her, but I could not help myself.
A very bold move from House Saveth, I think, to send all of you. Though I guess unexpected is an advantage as well.
I think it was the best move. Send your strongest people.
And you did make it to the capital. And it seems that you've spent a lot of time perusing some useful information, I'm sure.
It's at our fingertips. How could we not? You don't want to keep it from the people. You said that yourself.
Yes, well, I have some talking to my night staff now to do about some perhaps missing copies that we might need to replace of things. I may have it on a good word that I may be seeing you all tomorrow evening.
Oh, so you'll be there.
In which way do you intend to influence things?
Well, I was actually going there for a personal matter. But if you need my help, it'd be like old times.
I'm ready to learn more.
Well, if you all wouldn't mind, I would like a minute alone with her. Or perhaps 5.
That's fair. I'm sure there's more books we can read into.
Skylar, who's kind of just been standing near the door, just kind of listening and taking everything in. She goes, you'll be all right alone then. And Kemi just kind of nods at her. All right. And she kind of gets a little bit chipper and unlocks the door. You feel this ripple again in the air.
Just before we... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just before we leave the office, Raelynn's going to walk up to Alina and hold her hand in, like, a comforting way. But the eyes in which she's giving Alina are, like, deadpan, like, I trust you. Kind of like, don't fuck me over like you did before. But like, but like, but also, but the hand comforting is like, but actually, like, I trust you, but like, please, like, think of our people, but like, I trust you, girl. I love
need
you.
the panicked Alina emoji right now. So much use. Alina does not.
Vael will linger just a moment. And it gets up slowly and just says, "The core of this spire, is it accessible from outside in any way, or would I have to be inside?"
I suppose if you had a way to reach the top of it, it is exposed to the sky. It is very tall.
Understood. Thank you. And he'll turn to Alina. "I will be right outside."
I'll be fine.
You guys leave.
Leave, yeah.
And Skylar seems to put whatever rune she had placed before back onto the door. And I think she's just kind of like looking at Raelynn, and she goes, "Is your cousin doing all right?"
Which one?
He's great.
That's good. You see kind of like a little bit of a flush on her cheeks. She has that.
Do you still have a crush on him?
She kind of just seizes up. Was I that obvious?
You were the only one brave enough to walk up to him and ask him for a dance. Everyone else was interested in, and she points at Vael.
Because, oh my god, I thought that everyone was doing that.
Not with sincere intention.
God, he must think I'm a total weirdo.
No, not at all.
She just kind of spirals, I think, like inwardly for a moment. Inside the office, when you feel sort of that sort of ward go back up, Kemi relaxes a little bit. It's almost like as if no longer putting on some sort of mask for everybody. It's not that different in her posture, but definitely marginally relaxed to something that she feels comfortable, at least. I haven't been completely forthcoming with all of you, but I don't think I really owed it to them to be. There was a lot being asked of me in that conversation that I think wasn't really fair. But I want to help. I just... Before I left, I went through the ritual. I am...
Oh, there's another of your titles.
Yes. So, when your friend asked about the leadership, I wasn't exactly sure how to answer that. Worked my whole life to get up to that. And now that I'm here, I could see how I'm perhaps not a good fit for that future that I so bright-eyedly wanted. once upon a time. It's freeing.
Letting
To
go of
be-
the future.
No, I just mean the freedom that I get as a mother. But perhaps I was better when I had a watchful eye over me. They prepare you your whole life to take on this sort of leadership role, but the whole time they don't tell you what to expect when you get there.
It's always just enough information.
Enough to make you want to take that next step.
Mm-hmm. And no other option but to take the next step.
Don't get me wrong, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all of the things that I've learned, what it's equipped me for. But I'm sure you know, just as I do, that now I don't know who to trust or what to trust in, and somehow it's up to me to figure that out.
Have you really left? Or is this a new mission? Or should I say a continuation of the one you were set upon earlier?
Mother Raelynn's the only one who knows that I haven't, well, I guess now and you all, that I haven't stepped away from the Sisterhood. It was supposed to look like I did. And I guess it was believable. As soon as I got my foot into the door of the archive, Mother Raelynn thought I should really dig in here for some time. And I knew that I was going to be away, and I didn't know for how long or when I would see you again. So I'm sorry that I started something with you and I left. That was selfish of me. And it's perhaps even more selfish of me to be standing here, wondering if you still feel anything for me.
I have gotten to see a very complicated alternative to the future. Complicated but wonderful.
You really do talk like them sometimes, don't you?
Convoluted.
Suppose that non-answer will have to be enough.
You knew how long I had a crush on him.
It's him.
Yes. Guess I wasn't that obvious when I mentioned Lord Vale's new relationship.
That man sleeps with everyone. It could have been literally anyone.
So did I.
Was that all I was?
No. We both knew what missions required. But when we were back at the Abbey, we're off mission. We got to just be us.
There's a little bit of a tremble in her lower lip, which you've probably never seen from her. I think I needed to hear that.
Oh,
foolishly been regretting that I've made things worse for you somehow.
Piecing together what parts of me aren't them is difficult.
So are you two intending to get married then? Is that your path?
It's not been that long.
But you've never really been in a relationship before.
No, haven't had the chance.
Does Mother Ona know about this?
Of course not.
And what do you intend to do if you have to choose?
I don't know.
Does he know about us?
I haven't discussed details on our relationship path.
I see. Well, I was going to ask you if you'd be my date tomorrow, but I'm guessing that your hand is already taken.
Well, I am an employee of a merchant. I was talked my way into an invitation from Brienne. Whose last name I blanked on in the middle of this.
Entar.
Gotten an invitation from Brienne and Tar. Why did you tense up when I mentioned the day runes?
She actually looks a little bit mad for just like a brief second. Like I said, there are good people in the Sisterhood and there are not good people in the Sisterhood. And unfortunately for you, Alina, I think that you have maybe been trained by someone who's not good for you. That's not to say that she wasn't the right person to train you and everything. I think all of the types of skills that you seem to have learned from her have suited you perfectly.
What has she done?
Well, it's what she knew and didn't tell you, I think. That was the problem.
What do you know?
I didn't want to be the one to tell you this. This is why I told you to keep digging. This is not a happy, I haven't seen you in a year and here's this awful information. I know how much you love your father.
Do you know that he died?
I'm sorry that I couldn't be there for you.
I was barely allowed to be there at all.
That mother of yours is all she says, like in a very scathing voice. And she just, I think what she does is she reaches out and gives you a squeeze on the shoulder. Your father will always be your father. You are his daughter. But the day runes are your blood relatives.
Andrew?
She nods. Is that who you saw in your vision?
Yes.
The Sisterhood, to some degree, has dabbled a little bit here and there in this cultivating of bloodlines, and not always. Some of the matches are just genuinely, I think, that these families would get along well, and so they navigate towards them, but some of them are more intentional than that.
I think that's why Vale has been a mission for so long. Makes sense, such a magical bloodline.
She nods.
Not a mixed paper.
And I think that it is of no coincidence either that you ended up so close to a Saveth.
What about the Saveths?
I don't know what it is that she did, or what happened to her, what ailed her. But you do know that Rena Skaldine was married to a Saveth, right?
Did I know that?
It's pretty widely known. Yeah. The reason that Rena Skaldine opened up the Sisterhood and Friendhold is because she kind of missed home. And so she made her own kind of thing in the capital that she could kind of have after moving away from Hulvik. She didn't want to be just like a nobleman's wife. I think there was something there that started this whole idea of strengthening bloodlines and bonds. Even though it initially started as community, over time I think she realized the opportunity there. And for a long time, that was fine. And things, for a time, stopped ailing the Saveth house. And for whatever reason, in recent generations, that has become less true. Perhaps it is because of this whole trying to be noble thing. They've stopped being so influenced by the Sisterhood. I mean, you've seen Sonia. Whatever it was she was doing, I think it was protecting the Saveth lineage for some time. And as they strayed away from wanting to be hidden, they also strayed away from what was protecting them.
So this curse is what, a punishment from the Sisterhood for not being controlled?
I think it was there before that. She was just tempering it. Somehow. Navigating the right people, the right power into that line can negate a lot of things. Make people stronger, weaker, whatever you want, really. The Dave runes are crazy, but they do have the right idea about some things.
Which ideas?
that if you foster certain types of relationships with people and certain bloodlines mix with each other, that you'll have stronger people. It's been shown time and time again.
So if you know Andrew's my father, is my mother my mother?
She is.
And when you said it's no coincidence I find myself near the Saveths, I'm what, supposed to be bred into the Saveth line?
No. Just as you were to keep an eye on the Vyrian family, you're a good person to also keep an eye on the Saveths. I don't think you would even have to intend to really do any harm. You trusted her. And you had no reason not to. Can I give you a hug?
Please.
She'll pull you in for a hug, and I think she kind of strokes your hair in the process. Like any sort of way that over the years it seemed like Alina responded well to in terms of being comforted, Kemi would offer that. And when it seems like you're maybe kind of calmed down a bit, she looks at you in the face and says, "Things are complicated. You seem like you're on the right track with the right people. But you have to believe in yourself a bit better, Alina. There's more than everything, all the framework that you think is holding you up. That's not the truth. You have the ability to stand on your own. They wouldn't have brought you this far down the line if that weren't true. If you think that I am capable, which I'm pretty sure you do, then you have no reason not to believe the same about yourself.
Is there anyone in the Sisterhood that can be trusted?
I specifically asked them to bring Skylar back because I saw how genuine she was. She graduated, left for a bit, and I saw potential in her, and so I pretty much begged Mother Raelynn to let her be my advanced sister, who I hope would one day surpass me. I think she has the potential. Mother Raelynn can be quite a bitch sometimes, if I'm being quite frank, but I think her heart is, at least, there's something soft underneath all of that hard, prickly exterior. Yes, there are people, but you need to figure out who. They've kept me out of the Abbey a lot over the years. I haven't been able to keep as close eye on the inside as I would have liked. Outside, in a very different sort of vibe. I don't know if you guys are actually like cupping you're at the door or what you guys are doing, but Skylar, I think it looked like she was trying to think of what to say to the others for a bit. And she goes, so there's a lot of pretty cool stuff here, isn't there, though? Like, all the other bad stuff aside?
I can say we've been here too long. What would you suggest?
Well, I just mean all the magic stuff. Isn't that, like, pretty... wow? Like, I think I would feel really bad destroying all of it and not using it, but then she kind of is like looking around. Maybe another time. I guess I'm just worried about not meeting in the middle. You know what I mean? We have a lot to learn, and they have a lot to learn. And I just thought that, I don't know what you guys are planning, but maybe halfway wouldn't be so bad.
It seems that they've moved past wanting to be at halfway by progressing without us.
I suppose, but what's your plan long term once you do stuff with this? You just never coming back to the southern countries again? Is it all gonna be gone?
Raylan's quiet because
We
she's like,
haven't
I'm
got
not
that
sure.
far. Okay, I understand.
This is new. And she's just gonna point to like how she like was casting magic before. Were you always able to?
I think I had the potential to learn, but they never really taught me that. I didn't even really know that they taught that level of magic there. Or at least not the level of magic that Kemi has taught me.
I feel like they kept us out of a lot of information while we were there.
Well, some girls just went there to meet boys, so I don't really blame them for not wanting to spend the resources on teaching them magic.
That's fair, but those women were bitches.
I did hear what Sonia did. That was pretty funny.
Raelynn eases up a little when she hears that.
I think after a few moments of like conversation, is Alina ready to rejoin the others? Is there anything that she wants to do before they reconvene?
You mentioned changing it from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know there is not a married mother.
I guess it depends on how much of a rush you're in. If you do change it from the inside, I suppose you would technically have some sway over that. But you would have to play a long game.
I know. I've never had the luxury of looking for another future outside of the Sisterhood. Until now.
Well, I don't think that was entirely true. Gives you a warm smile.
Can you save me a dance tomorrow?
I will wear my most killer dress to this party and make it maybe the best dance of the night, but who knows how your man will respond to that and try to upstage me.
Well, that I can't wait to see. But also, and she'll kind of stretch her arms out and let her dress turn into the dragonfly dress from Mournhold.
That's pretty hot.
This isn't the one I'm going with, but I have options.
Tell Mr. Vyrian to save me a dance as well. I would like to get to know this man who is getting your attention now.
Should I warn him?
If you'd like, that makes it less fun for me.
We're both trying and learning together.
Good.
I'm proud of all you've accomplished here. Hope you're proud of yourself. As murky as what's real and what isn't can be.
It does get confusing some days.
You did always want to be a historian, and here you are. Floors and floors of books and history.
And maybe I'll even be making history.
I think you will.
It was nice seeing you.
Well, for as long as I'm in Savoran, you know how to reach me.
I will take you up on that. So eventually you guys see Alina come out. Kemi doesn't come out after her. How does she look to everybody?
Dressed. Your haunted house wind is back.
What is that?
The wind's going through my old ass window. Or my tea kettle, you choose.
I thought that one was a child.
I thought it was a siren at first until it like arced, and then I was like, "Oh, it's the wind again." Bale's going to reach for her hand.
She's gonna grab it and put her head on your shoulder.
I think we have a lot to digest and a lot to sort through.
I think I need a drink.
Is it all right with everyone if we call it a night this early in the day? Prepare ourselves for tomorrow?
Was it like 4?
Yeah.
Probably. If there's anything else you all need to do, please.
I'll do whatever you gotta do. I want to do some more reading.
I might go for a walk.
Yeah, take care of yourselves, but I don't know if I'm ready to turn in yet.
Chinook probably needs a walk too, you know.
There's
Should write
something.
another hotel room.
Tell him what he's here. He's been chewing on that book I gave him.
The most ancient book in the
My
fucking...
heart.
Oh.
No
found
dogs in
in
the
leather.
library.
That's why it's
found
called
in
dog
leather.
eared.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Before we all scatter, strange thing I was so afraid of after the vision. It's true.
But that doesn't change anything.
Anything that makes you more interesting.
Hey, at least she's nobility, just the boring nobility.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I just thought of something. Your wretch of a mother got with Andrew Dayroon. Like, he is fast-paced.
I mean, she's a bitch, but she's hot. So, like,
Some people are into that, I
The
guess.
scale, right?
The hot,
Yeah.
crazy scale.
she's a way.
Also, he's not spending time with her. He got her pregnant.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
science fiction. We don't even know he was there.
It was a little test tube baby.
They've perfected that already.
Yeah.
That's where Chistana was getting the blood. Clones. That's what was in the basement.
That's what I said.
I told you, we've been saying that all
That's actually
along.
what I said.
She's been cloning her baby over and over again.
This makes Shanks even more worried about the time when we were watching Full Metal Alchemist, and I was like, I'm getting ideas.
Yep. All right. Well, Alina, I have 3 very nice bottles of wine that are burning a hole in my back. We say
We knew the
go
gift would come in
set.
handy so quickly.
So, Alina and Vael intending to retire back to the room for the evening.
Yeah.
Leif.
If Vael, if
Oh, go
Vael
ahead.
lets go of her at any point, because I'm not going near her if Vael's there, I want to just like, I just want to like, no, because like she wants to have a moment with Alina. And so it's not special if Vael's there, but she just wants to like hold her hands and just tell her she's proud of her. And to remember who your father is.
I would love to roleplay that moment.
Okay.
You can make Vael go like he's digging around in the bag of holding or something, and let's go
Go
for a
off.
second. You're like,
Okay.
haha.
Vael went to her all the time. You guys just like don't let me interact with you apart. So yeah, she just would like go up to her and just because she sees how she's coming out of the room and all that, and she doesn't want to get in the way of Vael consoling her because obviously he takes priority, but she does want to be there for her friend, knowing Kemi, knowing the Sisterhood, knowing kind of everything she's been going through. And the time that she last talked about the Sisterhood, she was the one that consoled Alina, and I think she just wants to hold her hands and just be like, whatever happened
Even if
in
you
there.
just go for her hands, she will like fully just like melt into you.
Well, then she'll hug her. And then she'll just say, whatever happened in there, don't feel like you have to tell us everything just yet. I was honest when I said I trust you. And I believe in you with my whole heart that you will always pick what's best for us.
I didn't tell her anything about why we're here.
That's okay. Even if you did. I believe that you'd tell her what she needed to know. But
I do need to talk to you.
about what?
The curse.
The curse. Alina, you're taken.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Perfect. Let's make a date of it. Come to my room in the evening.
Did you do my hair for the ball?
I would love to.
I'm not going to mope in my room all tomorrow. We have things to do.
Good. I'm glad to see
Proper
you're taking that
sisterhood
step.
training. You shove it all down and ignore it.
Well, that's not so good, but I can't really say, speaking from my example. Anyways, I missed you.
Missed you too.
And she'll just like hug her again. Go get your wine.
Going to take one of those bottles of wine, and we are going to have a girls' night very soon.
Perfect.
And Vael will cry when he misses out on one of the bottles of wine, but I don't care. It was given to the both of us.
There you go. You deserve it just as much.
Leif is continuing to study here at the archives.
I think for a little while until everybody leaves, and he'll probably go back to the room and study a little more.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that he's like, is he digging into the books that they took, or is he digging into other things?
He'd mostly be digging into the books that he already found, but if there's anywhere, I don't expect them to have a fantasy fax or copy machine, but who knows? I'm also interested in any like cartography section that they have, because our maps of this place are extremely out of date.
Can you roll me a medicine check, since you are looking specifically into things that would help this affliction of yours, and I just want to see where you're at with the progress on that.
I'm gonna be inspired. I can do better than that.
You have a lot of things at your disposal to corroborate information against each other. And despite the unsettling sort of realization that you had about what you found or the hints of things that you found at Chistana's, I think you're starting to see potentially some other avenues of things to explore. There's no like, hey, this is the cure for whatever it is you have. But the fact that you know that it is somehow like a curse and an illness of some sort, that like kind of amalgamation that Nyra isn't yet capable of doing anything to. You pick up on this sort of like interesting theory about how it's almost like easier to find with progressive illnesses. It's almost like easier to find a way to remove it from you when it's a little bit more developed. You're seeing this whole section of studies of people being cured in like the second stage or the third stage of this like 5-stage sort of disease. And that it's almost difficult to pull things out at that very first sign, especially because it could be multiple things. So it's like a little bit of a grim realization that it might get worse before it gets better, but that it might be easier if you let it get worse.
Sounds like you're saying I should get blown up again.
That might progress things a bit
too fast.
Too much. Yeah,
too fast.
like you're now double that.
I said that just for you, Brittany.
But I think what you do notice too is that a lot of the stuff that's surrounding these theories is also rooted in old ways of thinking, things that you've heard Nyra kind of talk about, like cleric healing, people who draw their magic from things beyond them rather than just what they can concoct in a lab, have been more effective with these sorts of things. So you guess that you're probably on the right track, at least having someone so close to you who's getting stronger.
Leif just becomes Nyra's personal trainer.
I'm down for it. Let's go.
But you might gather you might gather that she, with her magic, she hasn't been able to do anything about it because you don't have all of the displaying symptoms of it just yet. You end on like a oof, but also like a hopeful, like there's a positive note that maybe you don't have to have a whole line of clones feeding you blood.
Like, so there's probably another way that doesn't involve stealing the blood of my family and or learning how to clone.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know yet if Leif would ever put it together that like a blood transfusion can be done safely. That's just not a thing you have knowledge of. but that's essentially kind of where you're at. You're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, you're taking blood from somebody else to put it in someone else? That's fucked up." Yeah, so you have a pretty good study time. Nyra, what are you doing? Where's your walk to?
She's going down to the old temples.
Those were pretty far. Does she go there by herself? It'd be like a couple hours walk from the submarine.
She catch a bus.
A little trolley. One of the
Bus, I've
double
been walking.
deckers.
Yeah. That'd be fun,
Yeah.
yeah. She'll take a bus down there.
Yeah, you I think you watch a couple of them go past to see like what the system is. It does seem to be like people are paying to get on and that it goes down like the main, like the bigger roads. It doesn't go down all the like side streets and whatnot. But it takes you about still maybe like 40 minutes or so to get down back to where you guys arrived initially, to these old temple areas, which they've been repurposed on at least on the side that you can see the train station from. But as you get more into the heart of this area, you see places that are just completely abandoned or have been kind of rifled through, raided at some point for whatever was inside. And you're kind of seeing these bare bone structures that are not in use anymore. And some of them actually have, like, it looks like they're in the process of being taken down, that maybe they were taller than they were before.
She specifically, well, she's gonna cry internally about Israel's temple, but she's specifically looking for signs of Orin's followers. Because we saw Kayla's temple and Israel temple, so she figures Orin's has got to be around here somewhere. And she's hoping to find that path.
Give me a perception check.
In the tower?
No, you could do that out in the open.
I will use my inspiration.
All right.
It's low for me.
Should have just been one, but we'll take the first one. Okay. You are wandering through this district of these ruined temples, and you're pretty familiar with all of the signs of Orin and Kalis, and like you've been to temples dedicated to them before. As you are walking, and you see one that kind of looks like it's built into the ground, like there's remnants of like an entrance, and then it goes deep into the ground. You have a feeling that you are being watched. You're kind of like in this secluded sort of street that feels just eerily empty, like nobody goes here. A couple of people walking in the distance. You're not like completely alone, but you have this sense, like just in the back of your neck, that you are being watched as you take in the signs of this rundown temple. And I think, like, if you look around, you notice up on one of the buildings across the street that, judging by some of the markings, it was probably more like a feast hall at one point, like for all of the people who gathered in this district to come and join in. It's not a temple dedicated to anyone. you see two figures just kind of move out of your like peripheral vision. They don't seem to be coming closer to you, but they certainly are watching.
Good. Nyra is not planning to talk to these people by herself. She just wanted to like find the lead to bring the talking people to them. But she'll just turn back towards Orin's temple. Does it have like carvings of the hammer?
The like kind of remnants of what was once an entrance that's now crumbled away. You do see on the base of it going into the ground. You do see some symbols dedicated to or depicting Orin.
She'll just take a knee and put her hand on the stone and just bow for a second, remembering the feeling she had in her vision of his anger. And then she'll just sigh and stand up and walk back out.
I think near the end of that moment that you have, you no longer feel like you're being watched. It's almost like you were left to do that. Raelynn, what did you go and do?
She went to go to the quarantine area where everyone was lined up with their children and being shooed away and stuff like that. And she was just going to kind of hang out and try and extrapolate what the situation is there. But
Give me a perception check and we'll close off the night with this.
I have like a 30-second thing I would like to do.
yeah,
right
I'm
now.
okay doing her thing, and then I'll do mine next week if you want.
Sure.
After drinking a bunch of wine and I'm assuming ordering some room service, I would like to first, let me start off not in the same way as last time. I would like to spend some hours doing the experimental side of studying the spell, but Alina has been holding on to so much. And with this confirmation of Andrew Dayrune and not being able to trust in what she's given her life to, I think she's going to very sincerely mourn. Like, she's gonna mourn Papa Bulgarin, the just loss of understanding who she is, and loss of trust in like the sisterhood and stuff, knowing that like if she can feel this, she can start to figure out what comes next. But she has been like bearing this for so long. I think she wants to share this with Vael, and checking in with him first is gonna let grief be that big emotion right now.
Yeah.
And let herself like process.
Yeah, go ahead and do your roll for that.
Hold on. I'm gonna let it ignore that. I'm supposed to hit advantage. I know how to do things. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Okay, I will do the math. I was thinking like 4 hours, so I'll look at this and do the math and figure out how many that gets me. Okay, so that's 8 plus my proficiency bonus, which is a number
11.
Cool. I'll mark that down.
I know you said that you wanted to do this thing next week, but there is something that happens before you actually get to the place that you were going, Raelynn, that I would like to end on.
No worries.
Can you make a perception check for me, though? To
Sure.
see if
I'm gonna rage perceive.
you're angrily
No, it went
walking
away
around.
before I could do it. Why did it?
All these sick people! Look at them!
You make me sick. As you are walking down towards this place, or maybe you took a bus too, I don't know, it's up to you. But
Definitely not.
you're not doing anything that's magically enhanced. Well, the jokes that came to me when you said that. You're walking down to this place and you get a sending from Varric as you're walking. You get the message. This time he doesn't sound like he's out of breath. This is probably the first time since you talked to him on the sending stone that he didn't sound like he was maybe just in the middle of a battle.
He's not on a date this time.
Yeah, that was the thing that Alina interrupted before. You get the message. Thanks for your intel. We've secured the mountain, captured a mage, and dismantled the forge bound. Met the caravan leaders. Windress is with me. And before you can get a moment to really process and say anything back, you kind of look ahead of you and you see that walking about maybe 50 feet up the road from you, a familiar face. You see Zeke is just casually walking like straight towards you, doesn't seem to notice that you're there, but he's kind of like looking up at some of the buildings, and you notice that he is no longer dressed in your clothing, but he isn't dressed in a style of clothing that the style of clothing he was dressed in before, something a little bit more nondescript. And he kind of, as he's walking and looking up along here, he kind of spots you suddenly, and he just completely, like, you see him like light up with recognition. And he's carrying the little bag thing that you had offered him as well over his shoulder. And he goes, he comes walking over and he's just like, oh, hey, I actually got something for you. And he's gonna kind of set it down in front of him, and he starts rummaging around, and we'll find out what he has for Raelynn next week.
A punch.
Yeah, I got something for you.